Ice hockey is believed to have evolved from a simple stick and ball game played in the 18th and 19th century in Europe. It adopted rules from rugby and lacrosse and was brought to Canada and the United States as a winter sport. The contemporary sport of ice hockey was developed in Canada, specifically Montreal, where the first indoor hockey game was played March 3, 1875 at Montreal's Victoria skating rink. The game was played between two 9-player teams by McGill University students. James Creighton, a Canadian lawyer, is credited as the inventor of ice hockey. Ice hockey eventually spread to the United States in 1893. The first game was played between Yale and Johns Hopkins. In 1896, the first amateur league was developed in the States. 2 years later, the Intercollegiate Hockey League was created. By 1902, the Western Pennsylvania Hockey League was the first to employ professionals. The city of Pittsburgh opened the casino, which hosted league games. The building was the envy of the sports and entertainment world. It was considered to be one of the most handsome amusement buildings in the United States, according to an Atlantic architecture report. Luxury boxes, grand theater, capacity of 12,000, and an indoor ice skating surface made it unrivaled to any complex in North America. Other indoor rinks began to pop up throughout America, which provided cities with a facility that would be a place for sport, theater, recreation, and social gatherings for people of structure as well as the common man. These rinks helped transition the sport from a rural game played on an outdoor rink to an urban game that was favored by the middle and upper class. Today, social classes still have impact on the participation of hockey. Hockey has always been viewed as a sport for the elite. Participation levels have historically been the lowest compared to the other major sports: football, basketball, and baseball. Hockey is expensive to play, especially at the youth level. According to a recently published survey, it costs an average of $8,500 for a season of youth hockey. On average, it costs around $2,000 for equipment, $2,500 for league fees and ice time, and $4,000 for travel. The better leagues usually require more ice time and travel, which can skyrocket the expenses. While the total number of athletes in hockey is still significantly lower than other major sports, participation at the youth level increased. From 2008 to 2014, participation in football, soccer, baseball, and basketball all decreased, while ice hockey grew 64%. However, this trend may not continue due to the growing concern of safety and head injuries in the sport. Recently, Outside the Lines published a shocking report that revealed how unsafe hockey helmets are. While helmets will prevent most skull fractures and other catastrophic injuries, a study done at the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University showed that close to 30% of hockey helmets are unsafe and unable to prevent a concussion. They are ranked on a 5-star system for their ability to reduce concussions. 9 helmets tested ranked a 0-star rating, while only 1 helmet received a 3-star rating. The 2 most expensive hockey helmets on the market, made by Bauer and CCM, received a 1-star rating. This study could open the eyes of parents and potentially harm participation numbers at the youth level. In November 2013, 10 former NHL players filed a class action lawsuit against the NHL that alleged the league knew or should have known about the dangers posed by concussions and failed to do enough to reduce the risk of head injuries and educate players about the issue. The NHL is trying to slow down the game in efforts to reduce the amount of concussions, but this is affecting the quality of play. By calling fewer penalties, the players know that they can get away with holding and interfering with the opponent. In 2005, there was an average of 5.85 penalties called a game. This season, there was only 3.06 penalties called a game. The intentional slowing of pace has made for a less exciting game and is hurting the sport's popularity. In the past 10 years, the average goals per game have dropped from 6.05 to 5.23. The league will need to make some drastic changes to the game to ensure it is both safe for the players and appealing for its fans. How they handle these issues will have a direct impact on the participation at the youth level and the popularity of the NHL.